We are going. What's going on with everybody? It is your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, getting it to your real raw rugged, and we representing every coast, man. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit of West Coast sprinkled in, got a little bit East Coast sprinkled in, and you got a nigga from the South doing the interview, man. With two people that I'm very fond of, man. I'm gonna let both of the brothers introduce themselves, man. Who we got here today?
Shit, I go by Moose, aka Pharaoh Dawn, aka Money, you feel me? Aka your host favorite, you feel me? I'll let your boy, man.
I go by the name of DJ.Fresh, better known as DJ.Fresh, 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 also world's freshest, and producer, DJ, and many other titles, but that's what I'm mostly known for.
Hey, man. I appreciate y'all boys coming through today, man. Really do. How y'all doing? How everybody doing today?
Yeah, we chillin', man, just soaking in the release, the new album release and shit, you feel me? With shipping, just, you know what I mean? Soaking up the feedback, the love, the energy. Just been a crazy, week or two, you know what I mean?
Yep. Still going strong, still going.
Yeah. Yeah, still going strong. Still out here, pushing the album. We about to drop some more videos and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I'm feeling good, man. We just, excited that the album is out. To be honest.
See, I got a shout out before we start this, Isaac, for helping set up this interview. Uh, that's it's a good white man in the in the Canada out there. Put me a lot of good music because this is my first time ever hearing of Musalini before I did this interview. And I love what I heard. First thing that caught me, I was like, damn, this nigga got an amazing beard. This nigga beard is amazing. This nigga must put juices and berries in his beard. This nigga beard impeccable. So that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, this nigga here got that.
Nah, man, that organic oil, man. You feel me? That, you know what I mean? That
Oh,
coconut oil.
okay. I like this nigga must be putting sea moss in his beard. Well, this nigga beard amazing, man.
Eric got that juices and berry bonnet on, man.
Hey, nigga.
Juices and berry bonnet.
Hey, a nigga need to keep it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it right, man. I gotta keep it right and tight in the body, man.
Facts, man. The ladies love the beard, man. I gotta keep this shit glowing, man.
Hey,
Glowing and flowing.
exactly. So I'm listening to the music and I absolutely love what you're doing. So I just want to start off by saying that. And I've never did this before, but I was very taken aback just by listening to the album. I really liked it. That I said, you know what, man, I gotta I gotta write these niggas a bar. I wrote a bar inspired by y'all, man. I want to start off the interview with the bar, man. Now, I wrote this last night, so I low key forgot how I'm supposed to say it. But I'm gonna let it rock out, man. I said, I remember days I was dead broke. I ain't see nothing but red in the account. I remember wanting Jordans with a negative amount to stay fresh. Musalini, a nigga had to stretch money out. You know what I'm saying, man? Just a little something. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying? The money. The nigga had to stretch money out, man. That was one of the first things that caught my ear listening to this album was the money because that is a very catchy what we call it, ad lib, a catchphrase, or what do we call it exactly?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Ad lib, catchphrase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't want to see none of these other rappers saying my shit now too. For real, man. I had Sway in the morning saying money. My shit is stamped. You feel me? It's mine. It's I don't want to hear none of you other rappers copying, man. Stay over there with that shit y'all talking about, man.
Unfortunately, you probably will have rappers saying money in the next couple months. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely gonna happen. They're gonna hear the DJ.Fresh beats. They're gonna be like, damn, these beats hard. This nigga rapping hard, but that money? Hey, I'm gonna steal that right there. I can't steal the beat. I'm gonna steal the money shit,
right.
though. So.
Man, listen, man. We on the lookout for y'all, man.
And then on the other hand, we got DJ.Fresh, somebody who I've heard multiple projects of you before we did this interview, and living legend, man. I really appreciate you coming through. You've worked with you. I feel like you've done an interesting thing of working with so many people from different regions. Because Musalini from the East Coast, but I feel like it always has like a West Coast flair to it. Like, so rather if you working with currency, it'll sound like, damn, I could hear a nigga from the West Coast on this or something. Like, you always, I feel like, keep like a sound, but you
Yeah,
also know how to switch it up. And yeah, I feel like you adapt to the environment that you're in really amazingly. So I just wanted to say that.
right on. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
no, for sure, for sure. Like one thing that really stood out to me on this album was what song was it? It's the second to last song, which is what's the name of that song?
Fly zone.
Fly Zone. The first part of John Dutch verse is that beat switch you did.
Yeah,
That's that's probably one of my
Crazy,
favorite moments on the album, and it lasted like
crazy.
10 seconds.
Dutch on the
yeah.
this.
That
Right
shit
on.
was, and then
Right on.
John Dutch went nuts on his verse.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy. Is John Dutch with you right now or something?
Nah. My man be
That's
laughing and
hey,
shit.
that nigga's hard, bro. I don't know nothing about John Dutch, but that shit was crazy,
Yeah, nah,
bro.
John. That's the homie. He produced too. He rap and make beats and shit.
The the way that the beat changed from there and then it went back to the regular beat, I thought that was amazing. Making this album, was there a concise sound both of y'all was looking for, or was it just, hey, here's some beats I have? Like, did you have a method of how you wanted this album to sound going into it?
Uh, no, not at first. It's just First of all, like when you say West Coast producer, and I don't find by how others perceive me, sonically and creatively, artistically, etc. But in actuality, um, it's all just a extension of my sonic personality. You know what I mean? Like if you spend enough time with me, then like the music that I make, you can kind of like get a sense of why I make what I make. Just speaking to me, talking to me, you know what I mean? And so I just say that to say that like when I started talking to Moose and we started building, I always say I'm like the barber. Everybody sit in my chair. You know what I mean? So like if you're, you know, you go to a barber shop, the barber's gonna have one type of conversation with one person, and he's gonna have a totally different conversation with another person who sits in the chair, right? But as a barber, so many people are sitting in your chair, right? Oh, that's almost like a DJ too, right?
Mm.
So as me and him are building this project, and I'm thinking about all the, he's from out there, and I'm from out here on the west, but I'm originally from out there as well. I was born on the east, and so this everything kind of embodies each other. We just start finding what works with the chemistry. You know what I mean? So I always say I'm not a West Coast producer. I'm just a producer from the West Coast.
I can feel that. I feel like there's that's almost like somebody who's it's like, I don't know if I would call somebody like Kendrick Lamar like a West Coast rapper. He's just a rapper
There you go.
from the West Coast because
Yeah,
his art is much bigger than just, oh, he's this
yeah.
regional rapper or whatever, you know. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but after the first Tonight Show with Currency, didn't you say
I'm
that
not, I'm not the West Coast freshest. I'm the world's freshest.
exactly, you know, and to help that out, correct me if I'm wrong, but after the first Tonight Show with Currency, did you say that you was learning music theory?
Yeah, that was the beginning of my music theory journey. Me and Spitters first Tonight Show, because we was all locked inside the house, and that's when I made the decision to like learn the language of music.
Was that
Right?
was that before the album or after you made the album?
It was like it was all like going towards it. Like it's a gradual process. I started doing music with um classically trained musicians, people like Kev Choice. Like shout out Kev Choice is one of the greatest piano players walking this earth. That's nonfiction. He actually just did Tiny Desk with E40 yesterday or day before yesterday. But I just started doing music with classically trained musicians and people who play better than me. You know what I mean? Like the best way to get better is to play with people who are better than you. I used to always just play by ear, which was fine. It got me this far or got me that far at the time. But when the pandemic came around and we were all stuck in the house, I was like, let me use this time to really learn this thing called music theory. You know what I mean? And That was in 2020. We all know what happened. Turnaround 2019. About February, March is when it came around, and then I just started learning it. You know what I mean? I started buying courses. I just started educating myself. I started doing the information and knowledge, and 4 years later or 5 years later now, I'm in the top 25% of recording keyboardists.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Of it.
congratulations.
Yeah. So but I just say that to say that, like, I'm a person who's always constantly looking for knowledge, in my field, and just better in myself. You know what I mean? I always say we earn more when we learn more. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
well, two things. One, I could hear it in the music, like with the synths that you've been using since then. It just feels, it's like, damn, bro, this is
Yeah,
crazy, like, you know. And
yeah,
this isn't a one-of-one comparison, but I've been doing like interviews for like a decade, and I'm in college right now for something completely different. I've never went to school for journalism, and one of the reasons is, one, I'm lazy. I just don't feel like writing that much. But the real reason is that I feel like I don't want to unlearn what I've been doing. I feel like if it's not broke, don't fix it for me. I really
that's
enjoy
right.
what I'm doing. So, was it ever a point where you were kind of hesitant because you're like, I've been doing this for forever. I'm good at it. I don't want to unlearn some of the habits that I've done, that I've taught myself. Was that ever that thought?
Oh no, unlearning is important too, but not for this. But that's another conversation. But nah, it just was. Let me add on to what I already know. You know what I mean? And also, this was I had started getting into situations where and nothing wrong being a sample producer, because I still sample. For a while, I wasn't sampling at all because I was only doing music theory based beats. But and nothing wrong with doing doing sampling. I was a strictly sample producer for 20 years of my 30 career. You know what I mean? But I just said it to say I got to a point where I wanted to be able to create music from what I'm hearing in my head, and not only based on what samples I was hearing. Right? That was number one, and number two was um, I started working with I started working with artists who, like Wiz Khalifa, and people where it's gonna cost so much money to clear the sample, or I'm gonna have to. I started getting hit for sample clearances here and there. I never got actually popped by the grace of God, but it was this barrier. So I'm the kind of person where, like, if the only thing standing in between me and where I want to get to is trying to learn something, I'm gonna go learn that. Right. And so I already had all the knowledge of sampling and just being a DJ, and like, even when you just said right now, when you were talking about fly with Dutch on there, right? Where it switched just for those few little bars, that's the DJ in me. Like, as a DJ, you're always trying to keep the party going. You always trying to, like, bring the element of surprise to the listener and never have them bored. You know what I mean? And so I applied, but to answer your original question, I applied all that to me in Moose's project, Live and Let Fly, and the sound of it, like, even having an analog tape to go with it, to give it just that kind of nostalgic sound, but current.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a fine time capsule.
Mm. I feel like I do that a few times in a sense where it's like an element of surprise, like on Money. Um, it's like the first, like the majority of the song is the always asking me for money, I'm broke, and then
I said you got a song called Money. That was one thing I noticed about him too. Like, he always says that, and I'm thinking about trademarking. You know what I mean? And branding, like, things that he always says. And it just I'm like, hey, you got a song with that already? And he said he didn't have an official song with that. And I'm like, okay, we need to make this be one of the songs then. And I sent him concepts, and he would do what he does. You know what I mean? And he sent it back to me, and I do what I do, and then we will go back and forth, and just, you know what I mean. Mind you, the name. How old are you?
I'm 26.
And so you gonna be too young to remember this, but there's an artist named Coogee Rap and DJ Polo, and they're from New York. They're from a group called the Juice Crew, legendary New York crew, right? But to this day, like, Coogee Rap is one of the renowned rap. He, Live and Let Die, and the concept was Coogee Rap is from New York, and then the producer of that album His name was Sir Jinx, and Sir Jinx was from the West, which was also like Ice Cube's producer. He's done a lot of legendary things as well. But that particular album was at the time the only album to where there was a West Coast producer and a prominent West Coast producer and a prominent East Coast rapper
Mm.
do a project together. At that time, the only people who had did something like that was Ice Cube, who was a prominent West Coast rapper, and then the Bomb Squad, which was Public Enemy sound. They did an album called um, America America, yeah, something like that. My mind's kind of going blank. But anyways, though, so I took that same concept and told Moose about it. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And it just came together and switch it because he's always on some, money shit, the fly shit, the his covers is like the black exploitation kind of 70s aesthetic look. And we just put it together and made it live and let fly. And it just, you know what I mean? It's volume 1. We already talking about doing volume 2 and so on and so on and so on.
Few things. One, hey man, Coogee Rap got one of my favorite. He rapped one of my favorite Alchemist beats of all time. The
Yeah.
realest, the Mob Deep song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great song.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Mob
saying?
Deep.
Great
Yep.
song, great Alchemist beat, great feature
Mm-hmm.
verse. You know what I'm saying? Shout to Coogee Rap. You know, I heard homie with Musalini. He said, "Hey man, what he say? Nigga say Coogee Rap. The reason I'm starting, you know what I'm saying? So niggas rock with Coogee Rap. So shout out to Coogee Rap.
For sure.
And then yeah, with the money song, with the element of surprise I was talking about, like I said, the main sample is the always asking me
Yeah.
for money, bro. But
Yes.
then you pitch it down for the last with the always
Yeah.
ask.
Yep.
Like you're doing a lot of that in this album where I feel like it's like the element of surprise. That's one of my favorite songs. I feel like Mussolini slid.
That's the DJ.Fresh trademark right there at the
Yeah,
end or before that.
Yeah.
Slow it down and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
fire. It's fire, and you slid on that song. That like you slid on that beat, rapping on that beat. That's a hard song.
You know what I mean? Like DJ.Fresh got a whole different kind of obviously he got a whole different kind of sound from what I'm used to rapping on. So it was almost like fun to me. Like I was just trying new things and just following kind of where he wanted to go with it. You feel me?
Yeah.
He would give me the vision, let me know like, yo, this is what I see for this track, this beat. You should, you know what I mean? Talk about this, and then I just, you know what I mean? Send them joints right back, and we just
Yeah.
kept it going back and forth and shit.
Yeah.
My favorite song off the album, where I feel like both of y'all was like executing at y'all highest, definitely this this Double Life.
Oh,
That
yeah.
beat is crazy. That
That's
beat
one
is
of the ones on the album.
goodness, and you rapped really good on that album. I mean, on that song.
Yeah.
That beat is crazy. I don't know if there's a story behind that beat, but if there is, like I said, that might be one of like my favorite beats from you like ever. So there's a story behind it. I love to hear that.
Just concepts of what's basically going on today. Just, you know what I mean? Just, just put it all behind some sound, and you know what I mean? And it just came. That's how this whole album came together, though.
Mm.
This whole album, it came together like that. Like we wasn't overthinking that. We just, you know what I'm saying? Just pouring it in the pot and stirring it up and serving it. You know what I'm talking about?
Great. No, Double Life reminded me of something that could have been on like the Don and I with you and Nice, and it got like a similar vibe, and or just something that you would have rapped over with something with you and Ninth, and yeah, I feel like you do really well on like like them smooth beats. Like I was searching your name up on Twitter, and a person I seen a lot of people like pair you with, they'd be like, man, one day I'm listening to Musalini and the other day I'm listening to Primo Rice. It's like it's like niggas like the lifestyle type rap. I don't know if you would, you know what I'm saying, classify it as that, but I feel like a lot of people is like feeling that right now.
Hell yeah, that is definitely lifestyle rap, man. Underground lifestyle rap, you feel me? And I just feel like on this album we just took it to a whole nother level, you feel me? Because it's gonna capture not only the people that fuck with the East Coast shit I'm on, like my lifestyle on the East Coast, but now it's gonna bring in the whole West Coast and just merge it as well, you feel me? So, it's like combining best of both worlds type shit, because I ain't gonna lie. Ever since we dropped, man, all the West Coast females been on me. Fresh, you feel me? Fresh got me looking good out here, man. The West Coast, man. Listen, Fresh, man. I can feel it in the air, man.
That's
Gotta, you know what I mean? But nah, it's definitely just like you said, both of us are the highest, like, you know, just comfortable, just doing what I. He said, just do what I do, and I just let him do what he we just put it together.
Yeah.
yep, yep.
I was gonna say LA women are insane, but then I thought you're from New York. New York women are
Even
ludicrous.
crazy.
I don't think I've ever met a crazier woman that lived in New York. New York women are insane.
You gotta know, you know, and you gotta be built for New York, man. For as far as you know what I mean, the ladies out here, man, they different, man.
New York ladies are the only ladies in America that insult niggas the same way niggas insult niggas, and that scares me. You know what I'm saying? Like any woman telling me to suck her dick, you're scaring me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why shout to New York
Nah,
women.
you
They
ain't
scare me,
lying,
man.
shit.
They
You
scare
ain't
me.
lying, man. Trust me, man. I got a taste of taste of the West Coast wave, man. I can't. I see why y'all like it over there, man. You feel me? Hey, man, say, man.
Hey, all of them could be crazy, man. You just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. That's
Yeah. Now we got New York got the joints. We got the joints, but it's just like, you know, they aggressive out here, man. You know, they really actively aggressive.
actually a grab. But look, real also too. But I want to add on to what you said. Um, it's just like when we was at Sway in the morning, right? He was like, man, he was like, man, fuck a coast. It's worldwide. You know what I mean? Like, we on the soil in the United States, but like, nah, this thing is worldwide. There's people tapping in from Japan about this project.
Right.
There's people tapping in from the Netherlands about this project. There's people
Right.
in from all over the world. You know what I mean? And so, and I travel the world. You know what I mean? I've traveled the world. Um, and so, you know, what he's saying it's just like, you know, what he's saying is like, you know, we did it here, but no, this thing is going everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The analytics. I'm just saying nonfiction. The analytics speaks for itself. We can look and see it for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna start saying that's nonfiction. Because I hear
no,
you saying I'm still that.
man, listen, no.
I can't
Look,
st-
when we take my shit, you gotta come up with your own and say it your way. Or if you say it, you gotta say fresh. We always say you can't. You gotta say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. You got
Man, for real, man.
it's nonfiction. If you
Yeah,
gonna
leave the nonfiction and the monies alone, man. For real, man. For real. Yeah, that shit alone.
you
That is hilarious.
um,
That's funny. But no, I was gonna say I
wait
feel.
a few years. Wait a few more years. A few more interviews.
Got you. Oh, but no, I was gonna say I feel like that's the well. Actually, I'm gonna stick on that, like the slang and shit like that. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I feel like the internet has done something that I don't like, and it's made like slang and culture, but specifically slang. It's like things that used to be regional aren't regional anymore. So something
Wow.
that you would only hear in New York, you hear it everywhere. So I'm from Florida. You do understand how many times I've heard somebody say jit? And it's like, what is going on? Like I hear like a nigga from New York say jit, and I'm like, this is insane that people are saying this word now. But
I
that's
don't even
like
know what does that mean.
jit's like a jitterbug, like a young person or whatever.
A jit.
Yeah, jit.
Okay.
So that's like Florida slang that I've heard now used everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just very interesting to me to see that. So from y'all are from places where you have defined slang that's, you know what I'm saying, where y'all from. Is it
Yeah.
interesting to see like slang that you grew up hearing now it's like worldwide? Because I feel like with the internet, everything is homogenized.
Okay. Well, let me tell you this. I'm from the Bay, right? For example, Moose hits me probably about, I don't know, a few months ago, and he's talking about he's had some food and he say it's slap. Now where I'm from, slap means the music is just good and that's it. We don't even like when people say food slap. It's a funny thing. The Bay says that, but the Bay comes up with a whole lot of slang. But I'm gonna tell you the reason why it's like that. You ever heard the saying, uh, every person is 6 degrees of separation from who you want to meet?
Yeah.
That was before social media. It's more like maybe 2 to 3 degrees of separation from any person you want to meet now because of social media, right? We're also very connected that we've ever been in time in history, right? But we're also the most disconnected as well, right? So even this phone call right here, like he's in New York, I'm in Las Vegas, you're in the South, you said, right?
Florida.
Yeah, man, for this to happen, several years ago, 2 decades ago, which is not that much time ago, we will all have to be in the same room, or we will all have to, it would just take that much more effort for us all to be connected, like how we are connected right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everything is so much smaller now, which I want to also add to another point. Like probably for like the last month, my social media consumption has lessened a whole lot. Like I probably went from like 130 hours a week on social media, and I'm not knocking people on social media. I'm just kind of like going to answering your question, but my social media consumption probably went from like 130 hours a week to like 25 hours a week. And what I already was kind of cutting down, but what I noticed is like my frequency is I have more attention and more bandwidth and capacity for other things that I'm trying to learn, for other things I'm trying to do. Now, mind you, when I'm in album mode, I'm active. Like I'm posting about the album. Like me and Musa hit me in the morning. Like, Fresh, we got a collab post at this time, and vice versa. So my attention is more based intentionally towards what I'm doing, my business, my music, right? And the other stuff, I just have more bandwidth and capacity for other things, and I just honestly notice the difference. You know what I mean? From not having the constant consumption of social media via other people's what they're sharing and just things of that. You know what I mean? There's just a sense of like, damn, the real world is great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just kind of more so use it now just for my music, which is what I do. I'm not knocking people who don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody, whatever. You know what I mean? But we all only have a certain amount of attention and capacity and bandwidth to distribute on a daily. You know what I'm saying? And it does have an effect on our mental, on our spirit, on you know what I mean, on our spirit, on our frequency. You know what I mean? So, but that was my answer towards like, yeah, that's why the slang, like everybody's just so infused with each other. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it is kind of hard to stand out on your originality, if you will. You know what I mean? Which could be, could be a good thing and a bad thing. I always try to say I live my life not based on what would be, could be, or should be, but what is, right? And then just go from there. You know what I mean? But for the record, though, man, food don't slap, man. Music slap. You know what I'm talking about? And
Wait, what were you eating that you said
it
slap?
don't matter what we was eating, man. Food don't slap. Music slap, man. You know what I'm talking about? My uncle E40 said so that's what it is. He made the word up. He made the term up, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I respect that.
Play ball.
It's interesting because I feel like you being a producer, you're very like philosophizing. You know what I'm saying? Like usually, you know what I'm saying? Like you philosophizing. You feel me? Like I feel like usually a producer, playing the background or whatever, it's usually the rapper that's like got all these wisdom jewels and wayward words or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're very, I can tell your brain is usually going a lot just by the answers that you know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting for you to be the producer, be the background guy, but also have this active brain. Then.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I would just say that. Well, because you gotta remember I started when I was 9 years old. First and foremost, and I'm almost 44 years old. Yeah, and so I started very young in this. You know what I mean? So I've experienced a lot, right? They say experience is life's best teacher, right? So I've experienced a whole lot. You know what I mean? By the grace of God, and I'm still here standing in good health and all that. And man, I'm gonna go back to that unlearning thing you brought up earlier, right? Because now this would be appropriate time to say that. But like, when you get to a certain age, you begin to understand how important unlearning some of the things is that you learn, right? The chances are you've been doing longer than what you're now trying to undo or unlearn, right? And so it's programming, right? But it's 21 days to create a habit. So how you gonna break a habit that you've been doing for 10, 20 years, right? You're gonna have to unlearn that, and that takes discipline. That takes consistent discipline. You know what I mean? Unlearning. But yeah, it's just, I read a lot. I pray. You know what I mean? I read. I started reading the Bible in the morning, like it's all, you living, man. Keep on living, you're gonna learn something. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
keep on living, learn something, because you're gonna, not be trying to do the same mistakes you was doing now in your 30s, let alone in your 40s. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I'm a DJ too. So even though I'm background as a DJ, you know, control a crowd, you know what I mean, by your words and DJing and timing, and you know what I mean. So I've been touring since I was also 16 years old. You know, I did my first tour at 16. I was with Common. He was Common Sense at 16. So I'm very comfortable speaking on the mic, speaking to a crowd, and I guess it all just plays into now. So
I feel like what you said about habits and creating good habits is important
yeah,
because somebody like Mussolini who's like trying to practice, not practice, but just become a better rapper. Like everybody should want to become better at what they're doing. You should want
yeah,
to become a better producer. Obviously, you start learning music theory. So to create
yeah,
a habit is you writing a lot. You writing a lot. Like Mussolini might be
yeah,
writing more or whatever to create that habit of, "Hey, I'm gonna get better at this." You might be learning, you know what I'm saying, about notes and quarter notes and half notes or something like that, and how
yeah,
to, you know what I'm saying, do it in a full time signature and flip the time signature and something. You know what I'm saying,
yeah,
just to practice them good habits or whatnot.
Yeah,
And
that's the only way.
you
yeah,
know,
That's the only way.
because if you got bad habits, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna mess up everything. Because you said, like you said, it's people that have been having bad habits for 10 years. So it's like
yeah,
it's gonna take a little. It's I gotta preface this. So when I was talking about I'm in college, to be a therapist, and I had
okay,
to go to a real 12-step meeting. I had to go to a sex anonymous addict meeting the other day,
okay,
and the people in there, it's like I think one dude said I've been in this program since 1990. So
yeah,
he been struggling with sex addiction for that long, and just to hear these
yeah,
people's stories and how like sex done really messed up their life because they had a habit of making
yeah,
just bad decisions. There was one dude that came in there crying. He was like, "Man, my wife left me. I'm alone right now. I got a prostitute
damn,
lined up, but I know it's not the right thing, so that's why I'm in here. So I'm trying to create a habit of coming in here and being better."
yeah,
So creating that good
yeah,
habit is really, really important for just not even your craft, but just your well-being.
your well being. Just and there's a book called Atomic Habits. I encourage y'all to go check out. You know what I mean? But it basically says the only way to change who you are is to change what you do. You know what I mean? How can you change who you are without changing what you do? You know what I mean? And so, but all those types of things, all those types of practices, I apply them all to my music. To staying disciplined. Like I have a saying, I say, stay the course. You know what I mean? Like stay doing what you're doing, right? You know what I mean? And understanding the long way is a shortcut. Like we want to do this until we can't breathe no more. Okay, what are the steps to be able to do that? Right? When you get to a certain age, you're gonna have to start cutting certain things out because it just takes you that much more energy and effort to stay at a certain level of peak performance, right?
Uh,
Of being able to output and distribute greatness on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Certain things you're gonna have to let go so you can keep going the way that you want to go. You know what I'm saying? I understand all those things in real time. You know what I'm saying? Not to get too deep into it, but there's certain things that I know I had to cut out of my life so I could get to this. There's certain things that if I didn't cut out of my life, then we wouldn't be in this conversation right now. Possibly, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Maybe not, maybe so, but let me eliminate the odds of it not happening and multiply the odds of what I want to happen to continue to happen and stay happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The more you put energy into stuff, the more energy you're gonna get back from that stuff. You know what I'm
There you go.
saying? If I'm putting a lot of
that's what
energy
it
to the
is, man.
streets, if I put a lot of energy to the streets, I
Yeah,
might
there you
I, I might get shit.
go. And also the people who you delegate with, who you speak with,
Yeah.
like me, like this is the first year me and Moose was tapped in at the end of last year, but like he'll hit me in the morning like, Fresh, you ain't in the gym yet, or vice versa. I'll tag him doing pull ups or like all that type of shit matters. who you delegate with. You know what I mean? Who you function with. You
Man, no
know what
square, no squares in the circle, man. Can't keep, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's like I said, I'm in addictions counseling class right now, and it's like these people that are like addicted to drugs. You can't be hanging around the same niggas that you was doing dope with because nigga,
yeah,
they gonna be bringing that right back to you, and you gonna get very tempted. So you're right. It's
yeah,
very, 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 very
yeah,
smart to who you
yeah.
keep in
I
your
can't
circle.
come like, for example, everybody who you deal with. I look at everybody who you deal with as a vehicle, right?
Hmm.
And so the car with somebody and they're driving, where are they taking you to? You can see based on where they've gone, maybe an idea of where they may take you to, right? Now, maybe they may be on a different path, right? But everybody who you deal with, especially when you headed somewhere great, you got to be careful who you let in your vehicle and whose vehicle you get into, figuratively, right? They may want
Yeah, yeah.
they want to bust a U-turn and go back to somewhere that you done already been that you know ain't nowhere good for you. So you got to know to get out that car, right? Or vice versa. You got to know to not let somebody in your car who could potentially take you back to somewhere where you don't want to go. Because that's why I always have a saying called "Ain't lonely at the top is peaceful." It don't have nothing to do with money. It had everything to do with mindset and just understanding that like living your life is like climbing a dangerous mountain, right? So why would I climb this dangerous mountain just to get to this level? Just to go right back down to this level and climb the same mountain to get right back to where I once was, right? I want everybody to be up here with me on this level that I strive so hard to get to. Like, man, come on, bro, you right there. Come on, baby girl, you right there. You feel me? And then we can climb up together. But I'll be a goddamn fool to let myself fall off this dangerous mountain. So that's where I came up with this saying called "It ain't lonely at the top. It's peaceful." Like this, everybody ain't gonna be able to come, right? Everybody ain't gonna be able to get to the level that you are. There's certain levels that I may not ever get to that I aspire to get to that some people are at. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It truly is levels for everybody. You know what I mean? But just understanding that and being conscious of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, you was talking about reading the Bible earlier, man. You gonna be DJ Fresh, preacher Fresh, man.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
You
I'm not.
dropping a word. I'm saying you dropping
Nah,
gospel right now, though,
yeah, that's
man.
really fresh. He got them gems all day, man. You feel me?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
daily. He them daily gems, man. You need, man. Listen, bro. Feel me? That's big bro right there, man. Just happened to him in New York was crazy running around and shit in the city and shit doing that press run and shit. I had a good time with bro.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He on his shit, man.
yeah.
It's. I was gonna ask Moose on the topic of good habits. Do you have habits that you've came up with in just like being a rapper? Rather, like I said, if it's just writing down bars, rather if it's just what I'm saying,
Oh
freestyling. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean,
Do you have habits like that?
yeah, I'm like the type of artist I gotta do something every day. Like I gotta write a verse, I gotta write a hook.
Mm,
You feel me? I gotta listen to some beats, even if I'm just in the studio listening to running through beats, picking beats I like, start formulating ideas and thoughts. You know, or I might be with the homies in the studio and they might just come up with a hook or something and inspire the song. So it's just like, you know what I mean? But definitely every day, bro, because at the end of the day, years ago, I told myself this is like if I could, I want to make music my full time thing. Like make music the shit that takes care of everything. You feel me? So I got an opportunity now to do what I love every day. So I don't really take it for granted. I try to put it in every day. You feel me?
When did you
mm-hmm.
start taking it like 100% serious?
Years ago, like probably like 4 or 5 years ago and shit. You know what I mean? Because I started seeing like the legends, like people that I respected, that I listened to, they started showing me love. You know what I mean? And you know that kept me motivated. That kept me going, man. You feel me? Because sometimes when you don't see something like progress, you get, niggas get discouraged. But the shit with me is every other like. I was having these moments where people were just popping up like, yo, bro, I see you. Oh, like, yo, keep going. Or like, y'all fuck with you. Like, your energy, your vibe, your beats, boom, boom. And it just, man, now we here, you feel me? Now we got it all the way rocking right now.
You said something interesting on your story, where you said after I close my next couple of deals, I will not be doing any more features. I highly suggest you tap in while I'm still indie. Price just went up.
Word, man. Price just went up, man. I just dropped Living Left Fly with the world famous DJ.Fresh, you feel me? So the price definitely went up. I've been talking to labels before, you know what I mean? We just, about to make the right move and shit. But we got deals on the table and shit. And then, when that all comes to about, I'm going to just, it's the truth. I ain't going to be doing too many features. I'm going to be locked in to the new situation. You feel me? So it's exciting because I got new opportunities and goals and bigger things to do for the future and shit. But yeah, man, that's what we on, man. We definitely trying to take it to the next level from the underground. You feel me?
I feel like this is a my fault. You want to say something?
No, I just said absolutely.
I feel like it's a very general question when people ask this. So it's a very like specific question to you when you're talking about being indie, being signed to a label. What would you say like the advantages and disadvantages are for like both of those things? Because you hear people saying like, "Why would you sign to a label?" or "Hey, you actually need a label." You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you at in that battle?
Shit, I like both, man. I'm getting a little taste of both, to be honest. You know what I mean? So, but it's all about, like Fresh always tell me, it's always about creating leverage for yourself. That's what I could say for an artist, for a producer, or even in just in life general. Like, you got to create that leverage. So I created a leverage on my own already, where it's like I could fuck with the majors, or I could stay independent because I got a certain system that's already working. You feel me? And I'm kind of like already running through the same platforms, and I'm working with some of the same people, and I'm in the same category. Like, people talking about me with people that do already got major deals, and I'm still independent. So I look at that as leverage. You feel me? So right now I'm just going chop it up with the team. Talk to the OGs. Hit Fresh, hit Ninth, hit all the big bros up and see what they think. You feel me? And then I'm gonna just take it from there. But definitely, I would say if you a hustler and independent is the way to go. You feel me?
Yeah.
If you lazy, and you need somebody to give you the jump start, then you can do that if you want to wait around. You know what I mean? But if you don't feel like waiting around, I would say you can never go wrong standing on your own 10 toes. You feel
Yeah.
me? Because the shit you build up is the shit you can fall back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when the majors don't want to fuck with you, you still gonna have that shit that you build on your own independent. You know what I mean? That's your career right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you brought up a name that I've always wanted to say this about publicly. You brought up Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder is somebody who this quality about him like just makes me happy because I love to see it in people. Bro loves hip hop. Like bro really love hip hop like to death. Like there's a video. This is the first ever thing I've ever seen of Big Crit related. When Big Crit was finna drop his mixtape, Crit was here. He linked up with Ninth Wonder and was playing him the mixtape. And his reaction to all of the beats that Crit made, he was just like making these like stank faces, like, oh my gosh, like this is just insane. You could tell like it was really bringing him joy listening to this Big Crit album because he's like, I don't know who this kid is, but this is amazing. And I feel like in an era where there seems to be lack of like love for the genre for a lot of people who create within the genre versus like past years where I feel like there was more love and like yeah, just love within the genre. It's cool to see that with him. So shout out Ninth Wonder. Just want to say that.
Or nah, he's still the same. He's still that same dude. Like, that boy is crazy over hip hop. You know what I mean? He teaches hip hop too. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely good to be surrounded with people that take the culture serious. You feel me? So yeah, shout out to Nate.
And speaking of producers, with Fresh, I know you got the keyboard in front of you. It's kind of a random question. It's kind of a question for me, Loki. For somebody trying to learn the keyboard, where do you start? Do you take lessons, or did you take? Obviously, you didn't take lessons because you learned in music theory. How did you
Oh,
learn the keyboard?
um. Well, if you can start playing with people who are better than you,
Mm,
that's what I would say first. Because chances are, if you want to learn, okay, if you're a producer and you've been producing already, and you're trying to learn keys, then I would say just start playing with people who are better than you,
yeah,
right? That's the first step. And then from there, because it's a learning curve, you know what I mean? Everybody, it's really a discipline thing. I mean, it's a discipline thing, and everybody don't have discipline. So you want to I would say, just start there. And then if your mind is still like you're still hungry for the knowledge, then I would say, okay, maybe start buying some courses. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on how you learn. Everybody learns differently. You know what I'm saying? And so I would say start there. But if you don't have anybody who's around you who plays better than you, then I would say maybe go on YouTube and look up how to play some of your favorite songs that you like.
Yeah.
Right? Learn that way, because it's all the language. You know what I mean? And once you start learning the language, then it's kind of like you'll be able to spell out sentences better
Yeah.
musically. You know what I mean? It's 13 keys. That's it. It's 13 keys over 5 to 6, 7 octaves. You know what I mean? It's like lowercase a, capital A. You know what I'm saying? Cursive A, exclamation A. You know what I mean? I'm saying, like, musically, it's all the language. So I would say start there. I mean, you could do piano lessons as well. It's just a totally different approach
Yeah.
when you do piano lessons, because they're gonna teach you from the sense of like more classical. Like, they're not gonna be thinking like producer first, but how there's no wrong or right ways. It's all what you're willing to be able to stay consistent in doing. That's the main thing. You got to be consistent with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna come to you. You gotta go to it, and you gotta keep doing it, and you're gonna learn slowly but surely. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like when I first started practicing chords, I wasn't doing those just chords, because I love chords. You know what I'm saying? Chords, 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 chords. I was all chords, and then I got to a point where I was really good at chords, but I was like, okay, I need to know more. I started feeling like I was getting a ceiling kind of thing, right? And then my guy Kev Choice, who I was telling you about, he was fresh. To take it to the next level, you gotta learn. You gotta learn all your scales in every key. And I practiced all my scales in every key for a year straight before I was able to do it in every key with no mistakes.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm doing a whole nother thing that's taking me a whole year to just develop the muscle memory, not even master yet, just develop the muscle memory. It's taking me a year. I'm about 9 months in, and I can do almost every key without no mistakes. So, but again, my journey started 5 years ago, just from small steps. You know what I'm saying? Small steps, small steps, small success equals to greater success later. So I would say start there. Play with somebody that's better than you, or just learn songs from YouTube, because they got all kind of tutorials where they show you how to hit the keys. You can play it slow and you just mimic it, but you gotta have that discipline though. Like, don't give up, don't quit because it's hard or frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Get up and walk away. When I'm practicing, I'm start fucking up. I get up and I walk away for a couple minutes to refresh my brain. Then I come back. Usually you'll get it. You know what I mean?
I think what messed up my brain is that I play the only wind instrument that don't have buttons. So I think this gets me because everybody,
Oh,
like, trumpet players are doing this, tuba players are doing this.
yeah,
I
yeah,
play
yeah.
trombone. Trombone, you're just
Okay, yeah, the slide. I used to play trombone. I played trombone. That was the first instrument that I played in elementary school. I couldn't play it now. You know what I mean? But even still with that, like, you still have the discipline. Like, you still have your ear too. You know what I mean? So if you really want to learn it, then you'll learn it. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you this though: you know how to play piano, you can play any instrument.
that's
Because
a
learn
fact.
taught me how to play the sax. I'm not super good, but I can record it good enough to record something what I'm trying to record. You know what I'm saying? So play
Bef-
ball.
Before we get out of here, I'm always curious about this with artists outside of, like, being with family. When you're not making music, what are you doing to kind of, like, just take your mind away from things and just something that you enjoy, rather if it's you watching movies, you reading books, or you playing sport? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are those things for both of y'all that y'all do to when you got, like, complete you time?
Man, when I got complete me time, man, I'm trying to chill with some females, man. I'm trying to chill with some ladies and shit, man. I'm trying to go out to eat, get some. I'm trying to go see some fly views. You know what I mean? Just relax, just get away from, you know what I mean, everything. You feel me, musically, and just get inspired by life, and come back and then put that same inspiration right into the, to the music and
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I keep it real simple. You know, same shit. I'll chill with my chick or something. But you know, again, it's like, see, for me, it's like music is my personality. It's an extension of my personality. So it's always right there near some kind of way. You know what I mean? I could be watching a movie and I might hear just a small ass piece of music. Bam! Now I'm inspired. You know, let me write that down. You know what I mean? Or I do. I read a lot too. I read. I hit the gym. You know what I mean? But I mean, man, to be able to do this right here, man, it's a gift. You know what I mean? It's a gift that everybody want to be a part of, or large majority of people would do anything to be in these positions that we are in. You know what I mean? So, you know, and when I'm not trying to do music, I might just be trying to go to sleep. I might just be trying to rest. You know what I'm saying? But you know, music is always near. You know, I do a live session 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times down to DJ.Fresh session. At 5 p.m. PST time. I'm actually gonna do one tonight, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But yeah, you know, I don't need that much recess time before I get right back to this. You know what I mean? So my recess can be anything. You know what I mean? I'll go across the street and I'm uh at the park or something. You know what I mean? Or me and my chick will go out and just go whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't take much to not be doing music for me to get a reset, because that's all it is. It's just a reset real quick. You know what I mean? To on what you was already doing. You know what I mean? This shit is programmed, man. Let's say it would take 10,000 hours to be a master. I literally have 100,000 hours in this. This is not. I'm just speaking nonfiction.
I
You know
want.
what I mean? So it's a program. Anybody's gonna be around me, like they gotta be on this frequency as well. You know what I mean? So it, you know, I don't have to have you know, some extravagant getaway from this to, you know what I'm saying? When we do some traveling, you know, do some fly, some live and let fly. It's live and let fly in real life.
That's it.
If you, I
Real,
was gonna say, if you was a nigga I didn't have so much respect for, I would definitely steal nonfiction. But I'm not gonna do it. That's hard. That's a hard thing right there, man. I'm
It's
gonna have to,
non-fit.
I'm gonna have to just
It's
tell, I'm gonna have to just tell niggas, I gotta create my own one.
trademark the word, but you know, go ahead and give me a shot, man. Fresh, we talking about this non-fiction, man. But by the time you get cool with that and this ain't your thing, I'm gonna be off to the next thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it's based on a true story and inspired by actual events.
true
I'm
story.
gonna just have to tell
Literally
niggas.
occurring.
I'm gonna have to tell niggas you can put in a documentary. It's so real, man. But hey, what's coming up next for both of y'all?
Shit, I got a bunch of projects, bunch of albums, man. I got one coming out with Crisis. It's called Pure Ism 2. I got one coming out with Static Selector and YSP. That's called Choose or Lose. And then I got me and Ninth Wonder's album, the trilogy, Dawn and I 3. You know what I mean?
Who's working?
What else? I know I'm forgetting one album. Oh, and I got an album with Smoke Dizzle that's going to drop. That's crazy.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? And shit, but for right now, I'm just really, man, just embracing the live and let fly, and just letting the music, you know, do what it do, man. Me and Fresh definitely gonna keep working. That shit ain't gonna stop, man. You feel me? So y'all might get a beautiful. Who knows? Y'all might get a part 2 for the year's over, man.
Man,
If you feel like it, man. You feel me?
uh, I got me and Paul Wall got a Tonight Show coming out. I think it's gonna come out in July. Actually on the same level that me and Moose did. Live and Let Fly, a Perfect Time music group. They're based out of New York. Really good music imprint group, uh, record label, distribution label, company. And then I have what else do I have after that? That's all I have on the schedule. I got a bunch of things. That's gonna be coming out. They're all just to be announced as far as the dates, but that's the next thing that's on the calendar
Yeah.
coming out. You know what I'm saying? And so I might drop like maybe one more instrumental project this year. I dropped an instrumental project before me and Moose dropped this
The
called,
gospel one was fire.
yeah, the gospel vibes. Yeah.
Fire.
So it's that's the thing I always do, like this vibe, late night freeway vibes, or jazz vibes. I don't have jazz vibes yet, but you know, you get the the idea. You know what I mean? So that's it though. Yeah, Live and Let Fly right now, and tonight's show with Paul Wall is up next. It'll be out in late June. I'm sorry, late July, early August, and might do one more instrumental tape, and then yeah, if we bust down another, we might maybe Moose would just do it like a like a teaser package or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we still got a lot of songs we ain't used
Yeah, yeah,
on the first one, so you never know, man. We may
yeah.
put it together real lovely.
Yeah.
Man, but Live and Let Fly, man, is out right now, man. Produced by DJ.Fresh, man. Not a West Coast producer, a producer from the West
It was,
Coast. And it's your boy Pharoah Dawn. I'm not a rapper from New
yeah,
York.
yeah,
You know where I was going with it. I lost it, but you know I was going with it.
yeah.
Well,
I
well,
got you. Yeah.
before y'all leave, I do want to say I can't wait for that album Static. That's hard. I ain't know that was coming. I love
Oh
Static
yeah,
Selector. He's
man. You know
fire.
we was up there with Static kicking it the other day. Shout out to Static Selector. That's
Yeah,
another legendary producer that he's all about the culture, man. He been showing love since day one. So we about to hit him. We got something, man. It's coming, man. It's coming sooner than later, actually. So man,
yeah,
live and let fly, man, to the moon. You feel me?
Can't
yeah.
wait for that. Y'all go check that out.
And shout out Sway. We got shout out Static. Shout out Sway too. We bought him.
Sway in the morning. Shout out Sway, man. He showed us hella love.
Yeah,
That's the big bro right there, man. He was really, really fucking with us, man.
That was a great interview. That was a really good interview, and I like the freestyle was hard too. So that was a real good interview.
yeah.
Thank you,
For
bro.
sure,
Thank
for
you, bro,
sure.
man.
La-
Sway in the morning is legendary. We had to come correct.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Sway. Last thing I'm gonna say when we get out of here, on Fresh Tip with the upcoming stuff, niggas gotta put respect on Paul Wall name because Paul Wall is still rapping really good today.
Really, really good.
Yeah,
Facts.
crazy good too.
You know what
Like,
I'm saying?
yeah, crazy good. We actually we actually did yeah, we actually got a whole nother album that's damn near done. You know what I mean? Like the Tonight Show is done, and he's like he's active. He's active. Like to be as successful as he is, and he's still if not hungry than when he first came out, and still getting to it and passing with flying colors. So
See,
it's
I was gonna ask you that
beautiful.
what you just said. Is there other Tonight shows that are done that just never came out for whatever reason?
Uh, hell yeah, man! I got 200 of them, so. I got. Well, that's on the market though. You're saying that never came
Yeah, that
out.
never
Yeah,
came out though.
I don't want to speak on the one that never came out because they might come out.
All right.
And I would say I could say it off air, but I don't
Okay,
want to say it
okay,
on
okay,
air.
okay, okay.
But yeah, I got a bunch of them that's dropping. Most likely next year. Me and Payroll Giovanni got one. Me and J Rock from TDE got one. Me and Wiz Khalifa got one. Me and Wiz Khalifa album's gonna be called Stay Ballin'.
Mm.
Um, Me and Spitter, we already about to do another one. You know what I mean? So 2026, man. I always stay ahead of myself. 2026, you know what I mean? Damn near into 2027 with this.
All right.
You know what I mean? Me and Moose talking about doing a Tonight Show. We might do a Live and Let Fly Part 2 or Tonight Show, but most likely we're gonna do all of them though.
Okay.
Stay tuned. You know what I mean?
Wait, man.
Man.
For everybody watching, y'all go stream the album. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play, and y'all holler at your boy.